Hey guys, it's Sheri Ann Richerson from Experimental Homesteader, Exotic Gardening, SheriAnnRicherson.com, and biannualblogathonbash.com. And today I am going to show you how to make cherry jam using fresh picked cherries. I am using pie cherries. And what I have here is the Ball FreshTech Jelly and Jam Maker. And I have assembled it, and inside on the bottom of the pan I have already sprinkled my pectin. Now this particular recipe, I am doing a reduced sugar recipe, calls for 3 tablespoons of pectin. So as I said, I have already sprinkled that on the bottom, and from there I will be mashing up my cherries using a potato masher, and then I will be adding the mashed cherries on top of the pectin. This is what the mashed cherries look like. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of juice out of them, and that's okay. I've added in the crushed chopped cherries. These were picked fresh off of my pie cherry tree this morning, so they were a little bit harder to crush and chop than what the canned cherries was that I used. But I have used both fresh and canned now, so you can do that with this machine. The next step was to add in 2 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice and a half a teaspoon of butter, which I have done. And now I will be adding in 2 cups of sugar right over the top of this. And I intend to evenly disperse the sugar. Not sure that I can do this and hold the camera, but I'm going to give it a try. Okay, so I will be sprinkling the first cup of sugar, and like I said, I'm going to evenly disperse this. I am doing a reduced sugar recipe. I'll be adding 1 more cup of sugar on top of this, and then we'll be starting the machine. Okay, so I put the lid on. I'm going to be plugging in the machine and starting it. Okay, so I'm down here on the Ball FreshTech Jelly and Jam Maker. I'm going to be pressing the jam button. It's going to tell me 21 minutes. I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to let the machine actually work. It will let me know when it is done by beeping again. At that point, I will come down here, I will press the cancel button, and I will unplug my machine, and then my cherry jam will be ready for me to scoop out. I can then can it immediately. I can put this in the freezer to preserve it that way, or I can put it in the refrigerator and eat it fresh. Okay, so the cycle has completed. It has just beeped. So now I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to unplug it. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to carefully take the lid off because this is hot. And there is the finished cherry jam that I can preserve for winter use. Okay, so what I ended up with was 5 8-ounce ball jelly jars full of the cherry jam. This is what it looks like. These jars are not sealed. I don't know if you can see this sticking up right here. But what I have done is I have washed and sterilized the jars. I filled the jars with the hot jelly jam. I washed and sterilized the lids. I put the lids on and the bands, and I tightened the bands down fingertip tight. Now, making sure that your jars, your lids, and your bands are washed and sterilized is very, very important in canning. And then what I'm doing, I'm heating up my canning pot over here. Let me get a hot pad. And once this water comes to a boil, I'm going to put those jelly jars down there in this right here. I can't point and show because that water is getting hot. I'm going to lower it down. I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm going to wait until the water comes back to a boil, and then I'm going to boil these jars for 10 minutes inside of the hot water bath canner. Then I will remove the lid. I will lift the jars up. I will let them set for 5 minutes with the canner off, just above the water. And then I will set them off to the side and let them cool for 24 hours. After 24 hours, I will check the seal to be sure that all of this seals took. And how I'll do that is I'll remove this band, which is this piece right here, and I will press on the lid upward just slightly with my thumb, not hard, just slightly, to see if it gives. If it doesn't give and it stays stuck in place, then my jars are sealed. If the lid comes off, I have one of two options. The first option is to rewash and sterilize a lid and a band and recan the jelly using the same method that I used before. I don't have to reheat the jam or anything. I just have to replace the lid and the band with clean sterilized ones. Or the second option is I can just put it in the refrigerator or the freezer and use it as I normally would. Now, it does say that the jam, if it's refrigerated, it needs to be used up within a 3-week time period. Otherwise, if it's in the freezer, it's good for a year. If it's canned, the lids are now saying 18 months. So as long as it's sealed and that lid doesn't give when you press on it, if it's canned, then it should still be good. So anyway, that's the process of making cherry jelly with the Ball FreshTech Jelly and Jam Maker, and then canning it for winter use. Thanks for watching and have a great day.